Give me 1 second to put my headset on, and I'll be with you in just a few moments. Right. Can everybody hear me? Can I just get Nick or somebody to feed back to let me know that you can all hear me? Excellent. Excellent. Hi, everybody. Okay, welcome to the Checkpoint Multiverse. This is my personal room. I'm going to just spend the first 20 minutes running through the multiverse to show you what we've got and how we're utilizing this space and what we're going to be doing and how Checkpoint fits into this. So before we go anywhere, I'm just going to quickly take you, well, in fact, we're not going to go to Grand Central Station. This is your personal home hub. You can get Multiverse Online for free already on the Oculus platform, and you can just explore this space. It doesn't cost anything, and all of our content is accessible and free. If you go to Grand Central Station, that will take you to kind of the starting point for all of your multiverse traveling as a multiverse traveler, and you can explore all the different offerings here. But I'm going to take us straight to our metaverse. We're going to go straight to Checkpoint. And what I'll do here is I'll just very quickly run through what it is that we do and how we're doing it. So hopefully most of you will have had a chance to read through the orange paper and will know by now that we're a kind of a multifaceted media content brand. We look at specifically video games, and we have lots of different subcategories. We've been around for 5 years. I've been in the games industry for more than 15 years as a journalist, so we're very kind of entrenched, if you like, in that industry, and we've got a proven kind of record of the stuff that we do. We already produce 2 magazines, a number of podcasts. We actually launched a new podcast yesterday, as well as websites and other interactive elements. The best thing for us to do to start with is just to show you this is our entrance lobby for the multiverse. This is your access point to the brand. Now, if you're on a browser, if you go to www.checkpointhub.info, what you'll see is a Web 2 version of this lobby. And the idea is that gives you access directly into our content on Web 2. And all we're doing and what we're trying to do is showcase how we can utilize content distribution across the blockchain and Web3, and how that will all work together in the metaverse. So this is our metaverse kind of access point, and you will be able to explore all of these rooms. At the moment we're in phase 1, obviously, so it is effectively galleries that you'll see, but in time you'll be able to interact with the content a lot more. You can see that we've already got videos playing around, and most of you guys hopefully will have seen this video. If you haven't, please check the orange paper. We have got kind of breakout rooms here as well, and you might be able to see over there the kind of the outside area is static at the moment. There is much more going on, which I'm not going to go into right now, but it's all publicly available. There is an Infiniverse, which is a kind of ever-growing city of which we're a part of, and there's much more going on in that world. We are actually creating kind of like a gaming district as well, which is already there. So this is the entrance lobby. From here you'll be able to explore the brand. So what we're going to do is we're just going to quickly run into the explore the brand room, and we're going to show you just a kind of a taster of the stuff that's already available and free on Checkpoint platforms already. So as you can see, this is kind of a gallery room as it's loading up. I'll just give you a little bit of background. In here you'll see the magazine, the main magazine, and the kind of things that we do in the main magazine. Again, I'm not going to go too crazy into detail, but all of our magazine covers are animated. So they will, when you download them, they will animate. They're all themed, so we look at the wider themes within video games. So this one was specifically about historical storytelling. What influence does historical storytelling have in our recollection of history 50 years down the line, when people are using video games rather than actual historical events to reference them? And we see that happening a lot. There are games like, for example, Sniper Elite that portray Carl Fairbairn, who's the protagonist, as the reason why the Second World War ended, where in actual fact there were other games like Battlefield 1 and Battlefield the series that actually look at the actual history behind it, as well as some of the Call of Duty stuff as well as lots of other games. Strategies, stealth. These are the kinds of, we do deep dive interviews. The magazine is all about in-depth content. That's the idea. So features, op-eds, that kind of stuff. Reviews, news, and all the other kind of bits and pieces go on the website. So we keep this kind of long form. So we have a highly engaged, highly intellectual readership with this. And these are the kinds of the interviews that we do. Brian Fargo is the founder. He's the guy that invented Fallout and Wasteland. Syrian Livingston, most people probably know from Dungeons and Dragons. David Braeburn, CEO of Frontier Games, and Jason Kingsley from Rebellion. The other thing is that we look at games like Elite Dangerous, which is based in space, and we kind of see how they work. So we have a whole space issue, and what we learn from things like this is games like Elite Dangerous, for example, actually calculate real distances for people like NASA and the European Space Agency, and all of that is outlined. So we look for real meaningful value, how we can anchor what we learn in video games in the real world. That's the kind of the focus of the main magazine. Big Data being another one. All the magazines are fully interactive, so each piece of content will either have a gallery, a video, audio to go with it. That could be anything from an audio documentary to a longer form feature with interviews and galleries. Great, another feature here that we did about artificial crowd noises during COVID for football teams or soccer teams, depending on where you are in the country. So that's, or the world. So that's the kind of the basic idea. A bit of example here of how the magazine looks like in tablet. All of our content, like I said, is free. You can download it now if you wanted to. There's an app for it. You can do it on the browser. Obviously, another one here about the Yakuza. We did a whole Japanese role-playing game issue. Women in Games. We celebrated women in games. And then we move on to the kids magazine. The kids magazine is made for kids by kids. That's kind of the strap line for it. We encourage children to use video games to learn about their intrapersonal skills, so things like their resilience, their courage, their bravery, their ability to fail. These are all things that we encourage from children because video games inherently do that, and in order for us to learn, we need to be able to learn from our failures. We need to be able to take risks. We need to be able to be brave with what we do, and that's the kind of stuff that we engender in the kids magazine. We give the kids magazine to schools. We create lesson plans for them, which we'll come on to a little bit later on, which are all adhering to the national curriculum and are fully resourced, are fully quality assured, and then we go into schools and we deliver these lessons. When we deliver these lessons, we give them much more opportunity. So not only do we provide the lessons, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a while, we actually then engage them with people from industry. So for example, if we've taken a game that's looking at space, we connect the children to the National Schools Observatory, we connected them to the European Space Agency, and so not only do they learn from the culture of the game, but then we kind of connect them to the real world. In this particular instance, we actually got the children to speak to the European Space Agency's solar orbiter team, and the guy that was actually flying it, the engineer that was flying it around the sun, was who the kids interviewed, and the head of operations. So we tried to show that video games are much more than just YouTube influencer videos, that they can give you an actual route to industry. The guy that flies that solar orbiter, just for kind of a reference point, used Kerbal Space Program at university, which is a video game, to learn the actual real physics that he needed to be able to get the job at ESA. So that's the kind of connection. The other thing that I think is important to say is that we don't endorse or encourage any playing of video games in class when it comes to the lessons. We don't expect the children to even know the game. What we do is we use their cultural capital, their inherent knowledge of video games, as a platform and a vehicle to deliver our lessons. And then that's all kind of manifested in the magazine, which is for the kids. We then get the kids to become the guest editors. They create content for the magazine, and then we showcase that content for them. More of that a little bit later on, which we'll show you in one of the kids' gallery rooms. And then we have our bedtime stories. These are free ethereal bedtime stories. They're available as a podcast, and there's a huge other strategy coming with that further on down the line. If you've had a look at the roadmap, you'll know that the bedtime stories are going to play a significant part in the kind of progression of what we're doing with them, which is quite exciting. Again, ethereal stories that they've been, we created them only a year and a half ago. We've not done any promotion or advertising for them. We've had over 3.5 million plays of these bedtime stories since since launching. So really, really good. The magazines both have over a reach of about 100,000 readership globally as well, which I think is important to note. And our users are highly, highly engaged. When I say highly engaged, I mean when they're engaging with the content, we know that they spend about 3 to 4 minutes on a page, on the pages that they do engage with. So that's a very brief outline of the magazine and the magazines and the brands that are currently available. This is the kind of the multiverse which you can visit now. These you'll be able to kind of interact with. So as I said, there'll be more videos, there'll be kind of audio that you'll be able to play with, as well as other props that we're going to be doing in the multiverse as well. So as we kind of progress to the next room, I'm going to just take you to the magazine room. Actually, that's probably the best place to go next, and then from there we will kind of show you the different layouts that we've got going on. So you've seen obviously the entrance lobby, which is where we're heading back to now. We're going to go to the main magazine room, and what we're going to do is kind of showcase in here. It's a good kind of way to showcase how the magazine is going to transform itself into the multiverse and Web3. So in here, it's a little bit of a different room. It's a little bit more interactive. We have breakout rooms at the bottom, as you can see. We can fill this with anything that we want content-wise. So as far as other revenue streams, which we've spoken about, which we can talk about a little bit later on as well, we can sell advertising in here too, as well as link to other kind of blockchain games or other multiverse games, and you will actually be able to kind of, like it, as we travel through the portals, you'll be able to travel from one app to the other. Our idea is to make this ubiquitous. Actually, that's a really important point. At the moment, you can only access this through the Oculus headset. They are releasing a Steam version soon, but our plan is to be able to make this, one of the biggest things that we want to do is make this browser, the whole point of this is to make this browser based so that everybody can access it without the cumbersome headset. So you'll be able to access it on any device, anywhere you want, however you want, and still have the same kind of experience. Which we know, which is what the first stage of what we want to be doing. So these breakout rooms are not complete, they're just to show you, but again you can see that there are props kicking around so that we'll be able to populate this with more stuff. And again, it's a great place for advertising content, showcasing content, however that content may be, and you can interact, you can have all of these rooms doing different things. So that's the main magazine room. We'll just head back to the lobby here very quickly, because that's the quickest way to navigate through what we're going through. And I'll take you now to the kids magazine. The kids magazine, if we just jump in here, again another gallery room, but it's kind of like a nice way to showcase what it is that we do with the children. So this is what the kids magazine looks like. Like we said, it's for kids by kids, but we curate the content. So we theme the magazine. So we take things like platformers or saving the planet or deep sea or any of these kinds of themes that we do for the magazine, and then we kind of put them towards the children. We invite the children to get involved. We connect them to industry, like we said before. But this is a really good example of one of the lessons that we've taken, and you can see some of the materials, which again are all free, that we take into the schools. This really still chokes me up, because these are kids that are low income, low ability, and they don't really engage much. So what we do is we take these lessons in, they get really excited. Like I said, they don't play the game, but they get excited because here they're creating something for Sonic. They present it to the class, it hits all of their national targets that they need for the school. The school's happy, and then we connect them. They present it to each other, and then we connect them with, in this case we connected them with Aaron Roseman, who's the executive producer for Sonic, and when he saw these ideas, he kind of praised the kids and said he was going to even put some of the stuff maybe in a future game of Sonic. That kind of connection is the kind of meaningful connection that we try to do on every level in Checkpoint. And I'll just quickly show you some of the examples of some of the pages. So in the pages that we've got DigiKnows and interactive elements. That's another thing that's important to note. We never, ever advertise to children. So children never have any advertising. We don't collect data across any of our content. We believe that web wallets will do that. With Web3, we don't need to, you choose what to share with us. We're not asking you for anything. And furthermore, we never push the children out of the brand or the magazine. So everything that we do is within the magazine. So if we have crossword puzzles or sketch pads or audio or anything like that, even YouTube videos will play in within the magazine. So we're very, very protective of the children. Another thing that we do is obviously look at the vocabulary for each of the themes of the magazines, and then we create a word bank. If the children actually press these buttons in the magazine, it plays the words, so they understand how to pronounce them as well. And those words are repeated throughout not just the magazine, but throughout the bedtime story, as well as the learning materials that we create for the children. Here's an example of one of the pages or double page spread in the magazine. So you can see we've got the game. That's a video. That will be a YouTube video. They'll be able to click a button to listen to Chris, who's the editor of the magazine and the writer of the learning materials, talk about the game. They can interact with the challenges, so they can click for answers and it'll pop them up like it has done here, for example. So we try to make it as interactive and as fun for the children as we possibly can. And then when they do create their work, we then invite them to send their work in, and we create galleries so that they can showcase their work in the magazine. We're really proud of what we've done with the kids brand and where it's going with it as well. I think there's a lot of really exciting things that we are looking to do. I'll quickly take you into the classroom. We do have a classroom for the children and for our CPD, which is our teacher learning pack, which we will teach teachers how to write lesson plans like ours. We can do that virtually, or we can do that IRL in real life, but there again, another revenue stream that is obviously shown in our orange paper, which you can check out. So it's just loading up a little bit now, getting the textures right, but this is the classroom in here. There will be only locked access to this when we do make it kind of functional in the way that we will. So only if you are part of a school, you'll have to have an access and a login to be able to get into this. It won't be public, but I just thought it's quite nice to show you. There's another video that we did with one of Team GB, which I think is quite cool. Let's quickly go back to the lobby, head to the kids gallery very quickly to show you what we do with the content that we get from the children. I mean, that's all great and well saying that we'll showcase all of the stuff for the kids, but we don't have the space to do it in the magazine all the time, do we? And so what do? We want to create a beautiful kind of area for children to celebrate their artwork. So everything that didn't make it into the magazine, they can then share in here. Like I say, this is all available for you to check now. Sorry, this is taking a little bit longer. Here we go, to load up than usual. So what we've done is we've created this beautiful kind of gallery as it loads to showcase all of the work that the kids have put to the magazine. We encourage them to send pictures, videos, audio, any artwork that they've created, anything creative, and send it through to us, and we will showcase it in the magazine, but also in this gallery. So the kids can come in here, obviously without their headset, eventually on their browsers, and be able to kind of look at their work and say, look, Mum, I'm featured in this gallery, and look, there's my favourite. I think this has become my favourite in these tours, because we do these tours quite a lot. This crazy bunny, which I can't figure out is protecting or destroying the forest, based on Ori, the video game. So we give them all of these things. These are things based on Bikes and Nights. So these kids did these craft work and sent them through. This is based on city building. We've got a board game, which is one of our home learning packs. So not only do we do learning packs for schools, we do them for education otherwise, for people that do homeschooling. There's valuable stuff, and the board game, we teach children how to make a board game, and that's really it. So that's a very quick tour of the Checkpoint Multiverse. What I want to take you into is kind of like a V3 room, like a version 3. This is what we're going to be hopefully looking like nearer to the time. Now, this is a social experience, so there might be people that just randomly show up and start talking. So forgive me if I kind of get a bit distracted. But as you can see here, there are actual interactive boards that you can press, and it'll start playing audio for you. I've turned the audio down a little bit, so you can't really hear it, but that will then interact, and you'll be able to kind of play the audio and listen to the audio as it's kind of doing its thing. There's also, which is really interesting, these stands. So think about our marketplaces, our NFTs, the other elements that we're going to be doing. Think about them in this space. I can tell you that these NFT cards that we're doing will be available in the multiverse. The infrastructure has already been built for that. We've spoken to San about it from Future Tech Labs. And then we've got little cool things like this that we could be messing around with, little toys. So again, there's a reason why the stuff in the bedtime stories is so important, as well as in the wider brand, and with potential partnerships and stuff that we haven't really spoken about. So that is the multiverse in a nutshell. I'm going to take off the headset now, stop sharing the screen. I'll keep the camera on, and I'll be open to take any questions and to kind of expand on anything else that you guys want to know about, or if there's anything that I've missed. Okay, so just give me one moment. Thank you.